Can the Georgia Bulldogs three-peat? The answer is yes. The Georgia Bulldogs can absolutely make history again and become the first team to win back-to-back-to-back national championships in the modern college football era. I'll also tell you a few reasons why they might not. Let them know, Kirby.
Told them, how about them fucking dogs? That's what I told them.
So can the Georgia Bulldogs win back-to-back-to-back national championships in the 2023 football season? That question really comes down to which one of the consensus top 4 teams in the country are actually going to be the best team this upcoming season. That's going to be based on who's coming back, what's in place, and who is leading the team. Georgia can absolutely win the national title in 2023, and it's all because of the secret sauce that Kirby's mixing up over there in Athens. I mean, what they have going on is a blend of talent and experience. The Dogs are solid in all phases, and they're going to start the season at number 1, which is a built-in advantage. Things would have to really go off the rails for them to not make it to the Final Four and into the college football playoff. Continuity is the key. I mean, they have continuity on the defensive side. Schumann and Muschamp are both back as co-defensive coordinators. The depth chart at this point, based on top recruiting class after top recruiting class, is essentially just a feeder system to the starters, which is a feeder system to the NFL. The culture, though, is what really makes the difference for Kirby Smart. That starts with his mindset, which is that the University of Georgia will not be hunted. Regardless of what they've done in past seasons, when Georgia takes the field, they are the ones who are going to be the aggressors. This philosophy permeates the team. I mean, if you're at the University of Georgia, much like it has been at Alabama for the last decade plus, just being a starter is a perilous position because year after year, they're bringing in dudes, guys, that they expect to challenge you for the starting position and be ready to step in should you get injured or leave for the NFL eventually. Competition is real every day at practice at the University of Georgia. Speaking of that feeder system I was talking about earlier, and these recruiting classes that just stay in the top 1 or 2 in the country year after year for the Dogs, the recruits that are on the recruiting trail right now, the ones that Georgia's looking at for the 2024 class or the 2025 class, even the 2026 class, they're talking about it too. They know the deal. If you step between the lines on the practice field in Athens, you are competing to start. You are competing for playing time. Starting on special teams in Athens is a big deal. Iron sharpens iron, and Kirby Smart has perfected that in Athens. Now, you might say that the Dogs are going to be complacent. There's no way they're actually going to win it for a 3rd year in a row. Think again. Complacency is not going to be a thing as long as Kirby Smart is the head coach at the University of Georgia. Last year, the motivation was, you're not going to be able to do it again. You lost too many people to the draft. Even some crazy talk like you're going to go 6-6 or 7-5 or you're not going to win the East or not get back to Atlanta. Whether it's true or not, that's what he had those dudes believe in. As we move into 2023, if you think Kirby doesn't have a new plan, a new way to motivate his players, you're wrong. All you have to do is look at the fact that they're attempting to do something that has never been done before. They're trying to win not 1 national title, not go back-to-back now. They've already done that. They're trying to be the first team in history to win 3. Kirby said so on the field in Dallas right after they destroyed TCU. If you think his mindset is not he wants to go win another national title, and if you think he will not leverage that to himself and his coaching staff and his players to try to stay motivated for the 2023 season, you haven't been watching Kirby. Another reason I think Georgia can actually get the job done again here and go back-to-back-to-back as national champions, believe it or not, I think the 2023 defense is going to be a lot closer to the level of the 2021 defense than the 2022 defense. All those dudes that were on the 22 defense last year, that team was great. They actually held teams to fewer rushing yards per game than the 2021 team. But they were young, and they're back. That should be terrifying to anybody that has to line up against the Bulldogs in 23. Now they have experience. They've proven to themselves that they can win when the money's on the table, and they are hungry. Because several of those dudes that were so young the last couple of years are now in their payoff years. It's draft time right now. You think the dudes in Athens aren't watching these guys come off the board? They absolutely are. That's what they're working towards. Remember that feeder system I was talking about? From the elite recruiting to the starting lineup to stepping to the NFL. Georgia is a machine at turning out prospects right now. This defense is going to be hungry, they're going to be athletic, and they are going to get after it. Now to the point that everybody's going to talk about, both in a good way and mostly in a bad way, as we head into the 2023 season. And that's the Georgia Bulldogs schedule. I'm going to keep it real with you. It's not that great. They tried. They had Oklahoma scheduled for the second game of the season, on the road no less. But the SEC put the kibosh on that, so now we have another team that they should handle. The Dogs are going to have plenty of time to smooth out the wrinkles before they get into conference play, and then that big matchup on the road with Tennessee that comes later in the year. What else does Georgia have going for it? They have Kirby Smart. Kirby Smart has figured out how to get his team ready when it matters the most. What he has built at Georgia, the track record he has in place, it's really, really good. Look at the performance they had against Michigan in 21. Look at the performance that they had against TCU in the national title game. Kirby knows how to get his teams ready to play in these big games. And now, after some seasoning, he has not only become a great coach leading up to the games, but he's also become a wonderful coach during the games. All you have to do is look at some of the decisions he made against Ohio State in the semifinal in 22. At this point, I'm absolutely putting my money on red and black and Kirby Smart to get his teams ready to play in these big games. Now, something that just cannot be denied is just how good Georgia has been over the last 2 years. They're 29-1. That's a lot of momentum. Who is going to beat Georgia at home when you look at that schedule that we referenced earlier? I don't really see a loss coming there. Their toughest game is going to be on the road. And that's going to be on the road at a place that they have actually been very effective the last few times they visited. There's a lot of momentum for the University of Georgia program right now, both inside the building and out, both among the fan base and among recruits. Kirby has it rolling. That's got to count for something. Finally, one of the most important reasons I think the Georgia Bulldogs can actually pull off this three-peat is that they believe that they can do it. In 21, they did the things on the field that they needed to do to prove that they could be champions. They took on the king, and they took the king down. Then they walked into 2022 wearing the crown, met every challenge, rose to it, and defeated every challenger to the throne. Georgia believes that they can win. They believe they are supposed to win. And they know when things are tight in the fourth quarter, they are going to make the plays that the other team will not to get that victory. You cannot overstate the heart of a champion. Now, of course, the last 2 years have been magical. They've been special. They've been wonderful if you're a lifelong Dog fan. But you have to acknowledge that some things went our way over the last couple of years. Yes, there were injuries, but nothing catastrophic. Yes, the ball is shaped funny. But in 2021 and in 2022, the Dogs got most of those bounces. In 2023, who knows? The other thing is whoever is at quarterback, whether it's Carson Beck or Brock Vandegrift or Gunnar Stockton, we have a new one, and they're going to have to play. Now, do I think that the Dogs can win with any one of those three? Absolutely, I do. The difference is going to be when they have to make that big contested throw, when they have to lead their team down the field in 2 minutes to get the job done. Does that quarterback have what Stetson Bennett had in spades? And that is that clutch gene. When everything's on the line, are you going to forget about everything that's happened and just focus on what needs to be done? We'll find out. One of the things that makes me feel the best about this 2023 squad is the fact that not only are they young, but experienced. They are winners, and they have proven it. And the guys that are going to step up in leadership roles on this team, they have shown that they know how to win. That is the absolute benefit of being back-to-back national champions, coming off an SEC title. And I think that's going to help carry the Dogs a long way. So can the Dogs pull it off? Can they get the three-peat in 2023? I absolutely think they can. The good part is, now we all just get to sit back and watch. How about them fucking Dogs?